Welcome back to the Mud Shop. Today is Wednesday. I fired the kiln Monday evening all the way to yesterday morning. It finished about 5:45 yesterday morning. So it's been cooling. It is at 102, cool enough for me to open. So here we go. Try to make this not so long a video. All right. Here are my witness cones. Cone 4, 5, 6, and I went ahead and put a 7 in, but now this is at the top of the kiln, so I really got a very good hot cone 5 close to a cone 6. The 7 did just tilt a little, but not very much, so I'm pleased with that. This is with new elements. The elements were changed. This is the 5th firing since the new elements, and let's see what we got. All right, I'm gonna start out with my holiday lace platter. I use Stroke and Coat for the colors, and Speedball underglaze for these, and Stroke and Coat was just on the little berries because I don't have a red Speedball. But this was rolled out from a lace placemat. I used manganese wash on these areas that did not have the Speedball underglaze on it, and then white back. And on the back is a dipping pour glaze, Lily of the Valley, and I get it from Clayscapes. Right, and of course my stamp on the back. All right, next are the angels that I'm making that matches my table set that I'll be doing for Christmas at our church. We do every year. And the dinnerware that I made is the oval dinnerware set. You've probably already seen it. And it's white clay, standard 240 white clay. And I use cream, Clayscapes cream dip glaze, and then just brushed on the edges a little bit of ancient jasper, which is an Amico glaze. And it gives just a little bit of a gold effect to it on top of that cream. So those are my angels. These will be giveaway for those guests that sit at my table. I have 4 of those. These were all hand formed. All right, let's see. The other things I have, this is a tree luminary. Then I'll take a little light to put a fairy light and put up in here, and where it'll run by battery and you can turn it on. I would not put a real candle in this, or you could just set it on top of a tea light battery operated candle. You could put a real candle in it, but there's nowhere for the heat to go, and so I wouldn't chance it. But there we go. This is which green did I use on this little tree? I'm looking on my list. Okay, I used Rainforest and then white Stroke and Coat on the end, so it kind of looks like a little bit of a snow cap on it. This is Rainforest, Amico. And of course you can see it's a texture roller that I have, just a little small one. And the next, I formed a cone with the clay, and then I took little dabs of clay and just put each one of these little petals on here. This was dipped in Lily of the Valley, and a little bit of white Stroke and Coat on the ends, again to make it look like a little bit of snow. Let's see. This is just a decoration. There's no holes in it for a luminary, but it turned out pretty. All right, let's take a shelf away. I have a tablecloth lace placemat that I got from Dollar General that is a pumpkin, and I used that to roll into the clay and made a plate with it. I did manganese wash and wiped it back so you can see the lines in it a little bit, and a little extra up here where the stem would be. I left it a little darker. And then I glazed it with Tangelo, which is Amico glaze. And this is the back. I did do the manganese wash on the stamp parts, and just really, really light in the center, 1 coat, 2 coats here, 3 coats here. All right. Ooh. Okay. Getting on down to the nitty gritty. I tried, if you saw the last video I had, I was making beads, and I finished out those beads. So I'll lift these up. Again, I fired these on my bed of nails, and all I'll do is just kind of pick them off. Just tap it a little bit and they all come off. And the little places that are on there, I use a Kemper stone, sand them down, and they're gone. So I have several of these. That's all it takes, just tapping it like that, and they snap right off the bed of nails. We'll get the rest of these off. And one more. And that'll finish out my bead garland. Again, for the table at Christmas I'm doing. This is a banquet we do every year for our senior adults at church. Okay, this is a little bit of a combo. This is also going to be a little tiny luminary. You can put a fairy light or a tea light in it, and it'll shine through the holes. I use different stroke and coat colors, a little bit of yellow, green, blues. I think that's Blue Isle is the blue that I use, and a little bit of white in spots. And then I covered the whole thing in light flux, and that helped it run a little bit. So there's my little tiny tree. All right, I picked up a little thing at a flea market and just wanted to try it. I found this at a flea market for a couple dollars, and I got it, and you see it's already got clay dust on it. That's what I bought it for. And I pressed it into clay, and then I made this platter with it. What I did, I floated black underglaze. I watered it down good so it would flow, and I just flooded these areas with black underglaze. Made sure I didn't get any on the outer edges, and if I did, I just wiped it back. And then I glazed this with Snapdragon. It makes a pretty good red. You can see it really doesn't show good on this. It kind of looks orangey to me, but this is a red. It turned out beautiful. Flat, no feet on it. I will have to sand a little bit of kiln wash off of it. That's no problem. And you see it fired flat, no curves, no banana wing. All right, now the only thing that did not fit in my kiln was my little owl, and here's his feet, which would be the wind catcher. Here is the thing that'll hit the sides of the owl to dangle. The beads already made it. He's the only thing that didn't make it in the kiln, but here's his feet. So this will hang down and tap whenever it gets fired. He goes in first next time because he's been waiting a long time. Put his parts over there by him. Now you've been waiting on. Yoo-hoo! These are my jingle bells. I did use a puzzle mold. I got these from Learn Fired Arts, and they come in all different sizes. They fit together. You press the clay on the inside, put them together, make sure you use a coil to join them together, and it forms inside. And where the hole is here, I made a pinch pot and put it on, and then did a little coil for the loop to hang it with. There is just a regular bead. It's about the size of these beads that I've been firing. I did make it just the size to fit down in this hole. I made this first, fit the bead down in it. I did put a hole in the bead, just like I have here. Did not glaze it. Make the bead, put it down in there. I do coat it with cornstarch so it doesn't stick to anything. And then make the top, seal it up. Once it gets leather hard, then you use a hole punch for the hole, cut your slits in it. And I made sure I left it like this. I did take one and shake it. I should not have done that when it was green because it broke off one of them. I did use bisque fix to fix it back together. So we're fixing to get it out and see how it turned out. But inside is just a bead, just like this. And it fired with it. No glaze on the bead, just the bead. All right, and this one was Snapdragon. I did 2 with Snapdragon, and I did 3 with Ancient Copper. Now this is the original Ancient Copper. And it likes a hot cone 5 or nearly cone 6 to make the copper look. And of course it's all made the same way. All right, these two. Ooh, don't them sound good? All right, and the other one, this is the one that I shook around before it was time, and while it was still greenware, it broke this little piece off right here. Let's see, you can see the line right here. And I put it back on with bisque fix before I bisque fired it. And I was very careful with it even after I bisque fired it, coated it really well. And I did hand glaze paint these on with a brush. Did not dip these. I did not want glaze on the inside, so I didn't want the little ball to stick. But they all turned out. Tie a bow on them and there they'll go. All right, and I fired them laying down on stilts. And since I used all my bed of nails for the beads, I used these. I had one on this one. I put these two together, these two together. I had 2 for each one of the bells. All right, time to get this shelf out. Alrighty, now this is a little flower plate that was left over from the last firing. It didn't make it in. There were several pieces in here that had been waiting, along with a little owl, but he just didn't make it. Okay, and this is just stroke and coat colors. This one is Sun-Kissed, and this is Cottontail, and just a little flower dish. Can also be used as a spoon rest if you need it to. All right, another lace, nativity lace pattern, rolled into the clay. I used Winter Storm, Georgie's Interactive Pigments, Winter Storm. Just a little bit mixed with water. It's like 70% water. And brush on. And I only wiped it back lightly because I wanted it pretty blue. And then I glazed it then with Speedball Clear on top. The back of it is Sapphire Float. It's not actually as dark as this makes it look. Let's see if it'll pick it up. And I love to give them a surprise on the bottom. Believe in joy. Nativity. All right, this one out. I've been working on also, these will be a little giveaway too for those at the Christmas banquet. This is just a Christmas tree ornament. I will put a big bow on the top, and these are just dipped in, rolled with a little texture. Let's see if it'll show that texture. It is, here, this side might show better. Yeah, you can see the snowflake texture. All right, and just dipped in Lily of the Valley. I made 40 of them, so I just made it a little quick little dip and back up, and I'm just going to get them all out like this. You see, I have 40 of them. I did make sure after I dipped them that the holes were cleaned out. I have a little pipe cleaner, Chanel cleaner, that I use. Okay, getting on down. Let me check on the green platter. Okay, that's what I thought. This one is another Nativity platter. This is a little bigger than the other one. They can stack if you wanted both of them. This is green underglaze speedball and white back, front and back, and then Lily of the Valley. And I did not have a container big enough to dip this, so I did brush it on, even though it is a dip and pour glaze. If you get a fan brush that holds a lot of glaze, you can do that. Just make sure it's coated well. You can see Mary and Joseph. You can see here's the little holly leaf in the baby Jesus. So far everything's come out well. No warping, no cracking. I fired it. I do, since I had some glazing I had just got through doing before I put them in here. I did a 30-minute candle, 30-minute preheat, and then fired it and did a 10-minute hold at the end. All right, this is my Christmas tree form. This is from GR Pottery Forms, and I do a lot of the trees and different things, and this year this is my special that I did, painting the Santa Claus on it. And these are all stroke and coat colors. This is hot tamale, this is cottontail, a little bit of the black, and the black does show under the cottontail. I've seen people ask that question. If I put black underglaze on there and then I glaze it with cottontail, will it show? Yes, it will. So here we go. These are all the colors. Now this face color is Pinkaboo. I've had a lot of people tell me their Pinkaboo fades out. You saw my witness cones. It was close to a cone 6 and it did not fade out. And this is hot tamale mixed with a little bit of white to lighten it up just a little. This is the hot tamale. You can see it's just a little bit lighter. And we have a Mississippi plate that has a snowman on it. And most Mississippi snowmen are melted, but this one is not. So here's the Mississippi with the snowman. No feet on the back. I cut this out by hand. Actually, I drew them out on paper, and then I cut it out on foam so that I can get the same shape over and over. But this is just hand-drawn Mississippi State. It's not hard to make a Mississippi State. So, and here's my little stamp on the back. Of course, I'll use my Kemper stone, clean it all off. Everything turned out flat. No warping, no cracking. I do make sure when you have a cut that's like this that it is smooth top and bottom before whenever I make it, before it gets dry. And those were all stroke and coat colors. on the bottom, stroking coat on the snowman, and I think this is downpour, Amico's downpour on the top. Looks like a sky blue. All right, let's see. Last shelf. All right, I made, these are fired on stilts. Tap it on. There we go. All right, these are the little crosses. These are also a freebie for my table. I'll tie a ribbon on it. It is the Clayscapes Cream, Ancient Jasper on the edges to make it look like gold. Giving away all my secrets. So if any of my senior adults are watching this, you just get a heads up, is all. Okay, I have witness cone in the bottom, cone 5 to make sure that it fires to a 5 and vitrifies. Everything looks good all the way to the bottom. All right, I have the little nativities. Now this is just a cutter that I get from DayLawDesignGifts.com, and it's just a stamp that you stamp it and I cut out. And this is Cosmic Tea Dust in the background. You can see it gives a little shiny, like glitter in it. It's hard to see on the, and stroke and coat colors. You have green. We have, this was actually a purple, but it didn't stay purple. It looks more of a flesh color for the baby. This is yellow for the hay, brown around the edges, and blue isle. And then the sun-kissed yellow for the stars. And these are all made the same. And I didn't stamp these because they were in a mold. So I just wrote my name on the back, the maker's mark. All right, the last piece is a large platter. I put Georgie's Interactive Pigments, the indigo, which is a pretty blue, and then I glazed it with Speedball clear. And then on the back, I did the sapphire float. I just did one coat here, and it actually looks black, but I did rub the interactive pigments on this part and this part, so it kind of darkened the platter, but it did not hide my maker's mark. The stamp came out great. All right, and this is also the holiday lace, but this is deeper. This is, you can see how deep it is. It's like a bowl. I did fire this on medium grit in the bottom of my kiln. This was on the bottom shelf, so that kills the myth that you can't fire anything big on the bottom of your shelf, because it won't fire, it will crack. No, it won't. That's where I put all my biggest pieces, because they don't fit anywhere else. So the biggest piece always goes in the bottom for me. So that is everything. All right, that is going to do it. Now, to get them all sanded down, cleaned up, get the prices on them, get them boxed up and ready for Saturday. I have a craft fair in Columbia Saturday morning. Well, Saturday all day from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock Saturday. So I'll be looking for some of you to come there. And I thank you for joining me in the mud shop. If you would, click like and subscribe, and check me out on Facebook also, and we'll see you next time. Bye.